Big, cool, entertainment. Giving you that sports and that news. What? And them reviews.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Big Cool Entertainment, and tonight I am back with another Walking Dead post-episode review. Tonight's episode title was The Same Boat, and it primarily focused on Maggie and Carol and in the situation they got themselves in when they were kidnapped by Paula, played by Alicia Witt, and two more female saviors along with one of the male saviors. They were kidnapped. They were arguing back and forth because Carol, who seems to be going through this, it could be a phase, but it seems to be more of at least somewhat long-term change and following the mode of Morgan, where all lives are precious and it's getting hard for her. Harder for her to kill. Although she did do that tonight, it was tough because she tried to give Paula a chance to get out of there without killing, but Paula, being stubborn and being resilient and not wanting to do it, trash talking Carol, forced her hand, and what can I say, Paula paid for it at the end. But like I said, the episode picked up on from the end of last week's episode, where Maggie and Carol was going back and forth. Carol was trying to get Maggie to go back because she's pregnant. Carol feels she doesn't need to be out in the field of action, putting herself and the baby in harm, and I agree with her. But Maggie is a fighter. She's been that way since she's been introduced to us back in season 2. And they were just having some dialogue about that, and caught off guard they were by the saviors, a few of the saviors. Carol shot the guy in the arm. Later on, he died because he couldn't get the medical attention he needed. It was a little scuffle. He smacked Paula. Maggie attacked him, tripped him up. He started hitting Carol. He smacked her, I believe, kicked her twice in the stomach, and it was just a scuffle. But Maggie showed that she's always willing and prepared to go there, even in her current situation of being pregnant with Glenn's baby. And the episode was dark. It was a lot of back and forth between Maggie, Molly, Paula, and I forgot the older woman's name, but they were all going back and forth talking. And Carol put on a terrific performance. She kind of started hyperventilating as a way to, I guess, perceive that she's weak and panicking. Little did they know that Carol is like Chris Howard said on the Talking Dead, the queen of the zombie apocalypse. She's a badass. She's grown significantly over the years. She will kill you without hesitation. Although she's going through a phase now, she's getting really gun shy and reluctant to kill people because, as she told Maggie tonight, she's killed 18 people, and it's getting harder for her to do it, and she doesn't want to do it. Plus she has a potential blossoming relationship with Tobin, who cares about her and she cares about him. But anyway, back to the episode. She was, pretty much, she took on the role of finding religion. I don't know if that's just something she did to throw off the ladies of the saviors, or something she could potentially, take on long term. But she had she found a necklace with a Jesus piece on it. She had it in her hand, and the older lady said, "Oh, you one of those type of women." People basically saying she's a very one of the religious type people, kind of frowned upon for that. And Maggie, was great tonight. She was aggressive. She was dominant. She kind of found the killer instinct, or the killer streak inside herself when she killed the older lady, mashing her head. She was already dead, but she just went in and just mashed. Like she was angry. Like, why would you even put me in this situation? You know what? I'm pregnant. You want to smoke in front of me when Carol told you, and she just took it all out on her after the lady pretty much was going to die anyway, because the fellow savior who was shot by Carol had turned, lost a lot of blood. It was dead, got knocked out by Paula after he smacked her. He had bit the older lady and on the arm, so she was pretty much, unless somebody came and cut her arm off, she was doomed. But Maggie put her out of her misery, and Carol got out using the the Jesus piece necklace that she sharpened on the concrete. She cut herself out from the duct tape. She found Maggie, who was doing the same on a door, trying to get the tape cut off of her wrist so they can be comfortable and be free. And Carol came up with the plan of they're pretty spread out, but we can get them. And that's exactly what they did. Carol shot Molly in the head because her and Maggie had a little scuffle, and she kind of swiped at her, slit her shirt, and thank God she didn't slit her stomach because that could have spelled doom for her and the baby. And once Carol seen that, because Carol loves the kids, how you see how she dealt with Judith, Lizzie, and her sister. How she dealt with Carl when he was younger, and her daughter Sophia. As soon as she seen that, she didn't hesitate. She shot Holly right in the head. Boom, dead instantly. And once Paula found that out, she walked back in the room. She seen that her friend was dead, or her acquaintance was dead. Kind of shocked her because she didn't expect that, because she was assuming by the way that Carol was acting that she was scared of death or just unsure about her whole self, and she thought that she was gonna have the upper hand. But like I said, little did they know Carol is a badass and it's not somebody to be messed with. So Carol tries to give her a chance to run. She has the gun up to her, at a good, nice, decent distance that could do lethal damage. And she was telling her, just run away, just run her away. And Maggie is telling her, Carol, do it, pull the trigger and kill her. And Carol didn't do it. She did do it because I think she had got attacked, and she had shot her in the arm, and she came back, found her, and they got to scuffling. Paula and Carol did. Carol got the upper hand, ran her midsection through I guess a wooden or a metal stick that was bent by the edge, so it's easy to insert with put enough pressure in. And she wasn't dead then, but the walker that was in the same spear with the same metal or wooden stick bit Paula in the face, and pretty much it was gruesome. You can see the skin just coming, and that's painful. You get bit, but imagine somebody biting you and just pulling like it's very painful. And it was a repeat of that. Carol then radioed back to the Saviors, who had radioed to Paula, but they didn't know that it was Carol and Maggie instead of Paula and the rest of her gang. And she said, they asked, where were you at? She said, on the kill floor. Her and Maggie proceeded to hide in the room, had a little mini discussion, and the two guys from the Sabres came in. They walked by. Carol shut the door, or cracked the shutter where it was barely cracked, and they walked by to the kill room, to the kill floor, on the kill floor to the kill room. Carol then lit a cigarette, threw it in there where it was gasoline on the floor, shut the door. The two guys burned to death, and they proceeded to leave. Maggie opens the door to exit the building, draws a gun on Glenn. Little did she know it was him, who already had his gun drawn. Thank God they didn't shoot each other. He was happy to see her. She was happy to see him. Rosita came in. Rick was there. Daryl asked Carol, was she okay? She said, no, I believe. And you had Father Gabriel there. And they had Pino, a guy who was shot down by Rosita in last week's episode, who was on Daryl's bike, which pissed Daryl off. And they asked him, Rick said, well, we killed all your people. You might as well start answering now. And he was like, are you Negan? He was like, who are you? He's like, are you Negan? He was like, he said, I'm Negan, you dumbass, or something like that. And pretty much Rick, right in front of everybody, as he always do, he's gun happy. He pulled the trigger, he pointed the gun, shot him, straight on in the head, and ended that. And Maggie runs into Glenn's arms. She said, I can't do it anymore. I'm assuming she said she's either can't go on these runs or she can't kill anybody because it's, really getting her emotionally unstable, or it's really affecting her emotionally. You don't want to have stress on you when you're pregnant, carrying a child, because it could cause birth defects, and the rest to the child. But tonight's episode was very good. It was a different pace from last week's episode. It was brutal, but wasn't as brutal as last week's. And it's just gearing up. 3 more episodes in this season. 2 more episodes before we get to see Negan, assuming that it sticks with the season finale. But like I said, tonight's episode was very good. It was a slower paced episode, but it was dark. It was a lot of dialogue. It was episode not for the ladies, but I'm glad they had that focus between Carol, Maggie, Paula and the rest, and Molly and the rest of the female saviors. It was a good dialogue, a very entertaining episode, and you kind of felt bad for Paula when she was telling Carol what she did for a living before the zombie apocalypse. She was a secretary. She said she took coffee to her boss, and her job was to make him feel good. She had 4 daughters, and he was the first person she killed once the apocalypse broke out. And she said that she had stopped counting when she got to 10 because she started feeling better or better with killing people, because once you start killing a certain amount of people, it gets easier, and you feel, I guess to some people, you feel more comfortable doing it. So it was kind of sad because when she was talking about her children and talking about her job, you could tell that she got emotional. She missed her children, and she was basically telling Carol, "You don't know what I had to do, what I've been through since this outbreak has happened." And you kind of feel bad for her, because if you follow the comic books, you already know that her husband. I mean that that they're all wives or girlfriends of Negan, which means even if they didn't want to be with Negan, they have to, because he's a maniac, he's sadistic, he's he's a psychopath, he's powerful, he's smart, and he's just a leader. And he will punish, your boyfriend or your husband if you do anything with him, once you join the Saviors. So you kind of felt bad for her, but I'm always pulling for Team Rick and the gang. And I'm gonna do a predictions video or preview to next week's episode twice as far, either later on tonight and have it up tomorrow, or do it tomorrow, have it up, in the afternoon. But like I said, like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you thought about tonight's episode. Tell me, if there's anything that I missed that you thought I should have mentioned. And like I said, like this video, share the channel, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments, because I love interacting with you all. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.